made. And I may not necessarily come here and talk, oh, do you believe the report or do you not believe the report? That will be a pedestrian conversation. However, I'm bothered. And I'm bothered because religion is seen in Africa, most particularly Nigeria, is religion borrowed. When we talk the major religions, Islam, Christianity, they are borrowed religions. How have they impacted on the development, the socio-economic development of the country? Is something that I wonder about. And so I'm going to use the reference, the allegations of rape, manipulation, fake miracles and the likes, to talk about whether religion has been good for our development or not. I mean, we pray the most, but we are amongst the underdeveloped countries in the world. And for this conversation, I have invited a professor of Religious and Cultural Studies. He's the head of Department of Religious and Cultural Studies, University of Port Harcourt. I'm talking about Professor John Obineche. Welcome on the show.
Oh, thank you.
It's good to have you. Happy New Year to you as well.
Good to be here.
All right. So let's start with the very first question. What is your take about religion in Nigeria?
Yeah, religion in Nigeria is something that has come a long way. Being from the history of Nigeria, the history of colonialism, of course, came under the jacket of religion first, and then from there developing to colonialism, and it has really contributed greatly to the development of Nigeria as a country, from the unknown time to the known time.
When you say contributed, what kind of development?
Of course, that the era of slave trade, the era of colonial, what brought the colonial masters, even the missionaries that came with them, they were actually merchandise that came. What brought them into Africa was commercial purposes, commercial venture. But now they discovered that along the commercial venture, these people need to be reached with their gospel. That's Christianity. And so they initially put the people, some of the missionaries like chaplains, into their vessels when they came into Africa and Nigeria in particular, while the businessmen will be going out looking for the local trade, oil, palm oil, canal, and other things in the interiors, and these chaplains will be hovering around, of course, like as if they are jobless, but now getting to communicate with the people, and that it was actually that motivation that made them when they went back. But the purpose of these chaplains was for the businessmen.
So are you saying that religion was used as a tool to conquer Africa by colonial masters?
Sure.
So if religion was a tool to conquer Africa, why then have we embraced this religion more than the people who initiated it in the first place?
There is a peculiarity with an African man.
Okay.
What an African man gives all that he is to whatever he believes. And he doesn't have time for partial belief or hypocritical aspect of the belief. And secondly, our emotion, our mindset as Africans, we go extra mile. And that is why today we are in religion. I can say that Africans are crying more than they believe. They are becoming more, like in Nigeria, for example, we are more religious than spiritual and godly.
We are more religious than spiritual and godly.
And godly, especially in Nigeria. Take, for instance, in Nigeria, let me pick even some randomly. A Nigerian Muslim, for instance, is more Islamic than Saudi Arabia. In his practice and whatever, fundamentalism and other things. A Nigerian Christian, now in the denominations, a Nigerian Catholic is more Catholic than Rome. A Nigerian Anglican is more Anglican than Canterbury.
Interesting.
A Nigerian Baptist, I'm mentioning the areas they came from. A Nigerian Baptist is more Baptist than America. So the practices are different. We put the hyper interest and emotionalism into it. If you check all these religions, the way they are practiced in Nigeria is not the way they are practiced in their mother churches.
And I agree.
From where they have come. And that's why I say that Nigerians are more religious than spiritual and even than godly. Morality, we sold our own indomitable African morality. We had it.
So are you saying that we should have stuck with our traditions and culture?
Yeah, the traditions and culture, before Christianity came into Africa, Africa was not empty per se. Africans knew God. What Christianity brought to Africa is not new God, but the way to serve the God. And that's why in African traditional religion, that is the primordial religion of Africa, they have respect for God. An African who is serving his deities, has deities, and others have all the paraphernalia of the shrine and everything in which evokes God. Take, for instance, the Igbo man. The Igbo man will have all these deities. He will call them Chi, but the overall God, they call it Chineke or Olise, Olise Binigwe. They didn't know the way to approach him. And as high as the altitude looked to an African, he felt that the only way to reach him is through these deities. And then they will pour libation and ask the things they see there, the carvings and everything, to send it to the Chineke, that is the creator God. They knew that he existed, but they didn't know how to approach him, and they felt that the way they were approaching him was through these intermediaries. And so when Christianity came, what Christianity introduced is Christ as the way, not others.
Now, there are question marks. You've said that Africans, Nigerians are more religious than the people who brought the religion to us. The religion was also used as a tool for slavery. Can I then ask if there is any genuine religion right now? Yet again, going back to the BBC docu-series and, many other reports we've heard about certain religious men, religious leaders doing certain things that they have done in society. Can we say that we have genuine religions in Nigeria?
Right from the origin of introduction of the two major foreign religions.
Yeah.
Because we have only one primordial religion in Africa. That's African traditional religion.
Okay.
Christianity and Islam are alliance.
Okay.
They came in. And as they came in, they carried all it takes to override the landlord, so to say, the African traditional religion. And as you're saying, even he said religion was used to enslave. Remember that, yes, as they came as merchants, as I said initially, they had their own winnowing fork in their hands with which they were trading all human beings, slavery. And at the same time, when they came with the missionaries, they brought here their fork, their knife in one hand and the Bible in the other. Remember also that it was the same Christianity that was used to cushion the effect and to stop colonial slave trade.
But if the religion was used to enhance the trade and used to stop it, can we say religion has done good? Moreover, we've seen religion as a tool for war, whether Christian, whether Islam. We've seen them on different centuries as a tool for war. It begs the question again. What contribution, what positive contributions have we seen Christianity or even Islam giving to the Nigerian development?
The development, whatever we call development we have today, see it in education,
okay,
see it in technology,
okay,
and others. In Nigeria especially, the same way with all the countries that were maybe colonized by Islam and the influences of Islam, all these things were brought along with Christianity.
Okay.
Are you following?
Yeah.
So consider how education was in Nigeria in particular and in Africa in general before Christianity came. Christianity used education to enlighten the eyes of the people, use technology, which are all products of education, and then to develop. And also even the early nationalists in Nigeria, their studios and other things, their means of communication and other things were through the churches, for instance. The nationalists and they use it. But the problem here is when a system is being abused. Now it makes it possible, seems possible, impossible, to not differentiate between the real, the genuine, and the fake.
So now we are in an era where there is an abuse of religion.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we still have true religion.
Okay.
But the circumstances around all our development, modernization, and other things have now contributed in bringing fake to the original. But the original is still there. But it's only few eyes that we find it where it is. Take, for instance, we have university. Some students enter the university without even having any focus any course in focus. And they are interested, all they're interested in, I want to get there. I want to get in, I want to get in. And when they get in, you ask them, some will say, well, they gave me. What I studied, they gave me.
Okay.
You know, that alone shows that such people probably did not have their focus on things. And when they, as soon as they come in, they now begin to see things in their broader perspective. Some will be seeking to transfer. Some may even decide to withdraw until they get to the real thing that they want to study.
Yeah.
Why some continue with that? Because now the societal shame and other things there are. If I withdraw, it's not everybody that we know that I withdrew because I don't have I'm not where I want to be. So let me carry it on. If there is any way to make amends, I can along the way and whatever. And before they can make amends, they have grown and they are looking for more other things. And now the age of education. So we approach it from that perspective. So the adulteration in Christianity, in religion as a whole, on that basis that I said, our cultural influence, our emotion as Africans, is being carried into religion. Call it Christianity or Islam. And because of that, many things entered. And for now, another instance, take for instance, when Christianity, because I speak of that because in Nigeria, Christianity came first. When Christianity came into the country, the mainline churches, called the missionary churches, clapping was a taboo. Singing and expression, the way we do it today, were taboos to the missionaries. Because in their own culture, they don't clap. They just stay there, use the hymn book and the pianos and other things. But to an African, Africa eats and drinks with music and celebration, dancing and clapping and other rest. And Africans carry that into their religiosity, their worship, and their expression, even to God, for thanksgiving and others.
I'm going to pause you now, Prof. I have a very short commercial coming up. When we come back, we will now look at how we can identify the real and the fake. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back. 27 minutes gone past the hour of 4. I am Kaladakuru Basubo, and this is Hard Facts. And we're talking about religion and development in Nigeria. And we're taking our reference from the BBC docu-series on T.B Joshua, I beg your pardon, on T.B Joshua, and of the Alex that were in that documentaries. All right, so I have a guest in the studio, and in cultural studies. We're talking before the came back, break, now we're back. You watched the docu-series, right?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, what's your take on that?
Well, it's not a surprise to me.
Okay.
Because with the way he came, and the way the society is, and the way religion moves, I know. So it's not a surprise to me that it is a kind of code and worm. There will be accusations, counter accusations, and also facts and figures, and also there will be even rebuttals, there will be defense. All these things are put together, and that's what makes, of course, a society, a group, organization, and whatever. That's why I'm not surprised that such things will come. But the issue is, what is the truth? Is it true or not? Which is not only on air that we can answer, but we have people. And especially now that technology has created a system whereby many things can be matchmaked, can be faked, no, and so who knows what? And you may know it better than myself. So
you're saying we should investigate?
Of course.
Okay. Now, which brings me to my next question: how do we know true religion from fake religion? How do we know the difference?
To me, a lot of differences, but the differences are clear there. As I've established before, telling you that yes, we still have true religion, and we have fake, that are adulterations.
How do we differentiate them?
Yeah, well, there are many sides. One, true religion is not selfish.
It's not selfish.
It's not selfish.
Okay.
You cannot attract influence to yourself. Self-attraction is just like somebody who is following a bus, and now even before your boss, you are attracting interest to yourself, not even to your boss. And the true religion will be based on whatever is the scriptures of whatever religion, being Islam or Christianity. So should be focused on it, not selfish.
So the focus should not be on the pastors or the imams,
yes,
but on the God that they serve.
They serve. And you see the situation today. There are some preachers. Well, I'm a pastor. Maybe you didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
I'm a pastor of high class, of course, or whatever. I've been a pastor for 43 years.
Okay.
Yeah, a practicing pastor till now. So you see that today there are some ministers who prove themselves to be bigger than the God they serve. Yeah, because they are creating empires on themselves. So it's not self-seeking, and it's not material oriented. The Christ in Christianity, that's where I belong. Christ we are following was humble, was not seeking for his own interest. If not, the whole world is his. Even at temptation, Satan told him, as if reminding him of what belonged to him, throw yourself from the mountain, I will give you the whole world. And today it's just like that. Some preachers are ready to sacrifice whatever to get the whole world, but Christ did not succumb to that temptation. A true religion is humble. A true religion is not materialistic. And a true religion preserves even human values. Because there are some religions today that feel that how you can satisfy your maker, your God, is by creating problems. You hear rituals and other things, killing human beings. The love that Christ propagated is not there from the innermost part of those who practice the religions.
But you mentioned that the African tradition had a ritualistic approach to God, and you said it was not such a bad thing, just that they did not know the way. if these men of God are not using ritualistic approach to God, is it still a bad thing?
There are religious rituals. But now we are using African mind. When we mention rituals, we think about human sacrifice.
Okay.
Isn't it? And even in African traditional religion, the rituals were out there too, sacrifices of goats and lambs and other things. And there were a few gods, so to say, that could accept human sacrifices. And when Christianity came, the idea is Christianity did not abolish all. All right, the ones to be abolished, for instance, these ones that do with some inhuman practices. All right, Christianity said no to them, but that ritual or the ritual aspects are still there, and that's why you see in some religions, in fact, in almost all religions, sacrifices are made. But what kind of sacrifice are you making, and with what? So ritual is there, but you see the what we mean by ritual.
So you've just said humility. It's not selflessness. You
Not
mentioned
materialistic.
but if it's not materialistic, how can you spread the word? Because both Islam and Christianity are looking at spreading to the ends of the nation.
We are better placed, better equipped in this generation than the missionaries who came.
Okay.
They never used radio. Are you following?
But you have to pay for radio to be on radio.
That is now. Now you have to pay on radio and other things. These are some developmental issues that go along with modernization. Modernization. And that's where we are, our stage. Christ never used radio. He was just there, what do I call it? A local Palestinian. I mean, a local Jewish man.
A Jewish man, yeah.
Jewish man, not Palestinian. Now, using only 12 disciples. And the 12 have reached the whole world. They never use microphones. They never use handsets.
So you're saying pastors in this generation can't do it without all of these devices?
Sure. Even
without material?
Sure, without, because pastors can't do it. You are in the studio. What types of denominations, churches, pastors that come to patronize you? Looking for money. And most of them, they have people who sponsor them before they come. And there are some pastors that they feel that the ultimate is to be on air, irrespective of what they are doing and wherever they are, to be on air. And that is theirs, to be on air, to show themselves on televisions and everything. And some will do whatever extortions of the members to be there. And you can see now that even some cannot reach out on 2x2 witnessing or face-to-face witnessing. It's on radio and television. And if you look at it well too, the audience in Nigeria, how many people listen to televisions and radios? But these things are in the township, in the villages, you don't have light, electricity is not there. And you can't afford batteries. Some people cannot even afford it to listen to one. But that is our champion. As if it's only the people in the township, because there we make the gains.
Now, let me ask you this question. You have a lot of, or you have some issues with the way religion has been run, especially in your own religion. The question then is, should allegations of rape, manipulation, and the likes, should the government control religion? Should we?
I am one of the people that say vehemently no, because he that pays the piper dictates the tune.
But you've just said the lack of control is causing adulteration of religion in the country.
We have the institutions that can bring control, and there are ways government can do that. We have, for instance, in Christianity in Nigeria, we have CAN. Okay, we have the branches of CAN. CAN has 5 units or houses that make up CAN. And of course, some of these are areas government can talk, they can hear it, but not we know the type of government we run and having control over it. And we are mentioning, yes, some countries where they have that control. Some of those countries, there are some other side effects on it. In history, I'm a church historian.
Okay.
In history, you see, for instance, the Church of England, where even till today in UK, there are some political offices you cannot have if you're not a member of Church of England. You can you can investigate that. You can research on that. I fully. And then in such area, there are sometimes in history, the church controls the government and the so when a preacher says something that government, they don't see the church until what they feel is necessary is done.
Now, we've seen and heard in Nigeria, still on this issue, where they say, touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. And that is when people are trying to criticize pastors or, imams or anyone, religious leaders, and they quote scriptures, related to these religions. And now you've said that, yes, there are certain malfeasances in religion. However, government should not control it. And you've said should, but we've seen a lot of reports, or maybe even the Islamic, the body in charge of Islamic religion. But we've seen and do my prophet no harm. So how then do we control these men of God? How do we criticize them?
Well, let me refer. I'm constrained to refer to your case study here, T.B Joshua, the documentary. You know that even at his death and before his demise, of course, that bodies like Khan, this is said with block being associated.
But it didn't stop that. That's
exactly. And it didn't stop. Then our own government was there. Okay, let's start on that instance. At least one out of many, one time that the religious bodies have said no to something, and how did the government react to it? And then coming to the idea of touch not my anointed. You see, the problem with religion is handling even the word, and then even the ideology of religions there. We now begin to think, touch not my anointed. Anybody, Kala, you can quote that because you have the Bible. Who is the anointed? And who anoints who? There are many who quote and unquote use the word anointed when they are not anointed. And then that brings the conscience and the culture and the mindset of the people. Here in Nigeria, for instance, city push people into going wherever they feel that there's a ray of hope in anything. And they move in there. And not until, like you said, the documentary, the BBC on T.B Joshua, some people were saying, I watched it, I took time to watch the 3 parts. Some people were saying they were roped in, they didn't know, they went for that thing and saw another thing, and they could not come out. Whether that's true or not.
Interesting.
So these things push people, and it is time to me, with all that we have at our disposal, that are product of modernization and technology, people should even have conscience to think there are some unthinkable things that yet people, even though my people, the Igbos, will say there's no way you ask a barren woman to stay and have a baby, that she will not do. But we should think beyond that. There are some things that are very, very obvious, and people now rush into it. Maybe because, religion thrives in difficulties.
Yes, it does.
Religion thrives in difficulties, and that's why in Nigeria it's going on.
Now, you see, we've still not been able to answer the question on how we can control these men of God, especially the ones who are not running according to principles and according to scriptures. However, there's the question I want to ask. Miracles, we see a lot of them. We see a lot of, like you said, Nigerians are always running to where they can have hope, where their hope can be met. Some of it is as a result of the underdevelopment in the country, which brings us back to the question. We have so much religion in Nigeria, or so much religious practices, but development is not looking like it's growing. I mean, if you want to look at the scriptures, I'm not very familiar with what the Quran says, but when you look at the Bible, you would see that back then, when the people of God were there was development wherever they went to, in Egypt, in Babylon, wherever they went to, there was development. But it's not looking like that in Nigeria and the rest of Africa. So that's number one question. Why are we not seeing that reflection of our religious nature in our development? Does it mean that we have more fake religious houses than real ones? A second one is miracle. The act of miracle in Nigeria real? Perform miracles. we have a lot of imams who perform miracles.
You are here in the studio. You see how people, look, the real miracles are not publicized. Miracles exist in Nigeria. The real miracles are not publicized. People walk, people use testimonies and for miracles for what God has done. To me, all these orchestrated miracles that people now broadcast and go into this and that and now form the
the real miracles are done are spread by word of mouth and not being televised.
Today in my office, a lady came and asked for water that she wants to eat. It was after 12. And this lady looked at me and said, "Sir, I've forgotten that you prayed for me last year." Rosa. She just walked into my office and said, "I was doing officer pen." I asked her, "Do you believe God can heal you?" She said, "Yes." I just prayed for her casually. I wasn't expecting any other thing than the healing. And I believe my God. And I've forgotten it. Imagine over a year. And the lady who asked me for water today says, "Sir, I've remembered since you prayed for me that last year that ulcer pain has gone. If it were before, by now I would have been rolling another thing that I have stayed up to this time without eating." Then I laughed. I told her, I said, "Well, you see it in some denominations, they will take you to the radio and tell you what to say. And you go there and wave hand and other things, and praise God for it and orchestrate it and use it as a means to enrich the church."
So you're saying the orchestrated miracles are men of God trying to take God's glory?
Of course. And because of that attempt trying to take God's glory, trying to project themselves, the fake come in. I told you already, I believe in miracle. But Canada, take a time and watch, even within the state here, most of the miracles that were acclaimed happened. Where do those people who received the so-called miracles, where do they live? What's the number of their streets? How many have you called? Have you interviewed? But we have many managed miracles, and that has overtaken, many. And I know of many churches
let's not go into name calling now. But the other question I asked: why do we have so much religion and underdevelopment in Nigeria?
Why we have so many religions and underdevelopment is based on this thing I said to you earlier. That is just like the prime of the ancient marina. Okay. Water everywhere, but not have on the country. And from what it is, I told you earlier that most of the things we have, especially in Nigeria, see education. If you check the history of education and other things, now it's from that one with other things. You see many religions coming.
Of course, now I was carried away by the conversation, and my time is up. But it's time for me to open phone lines and go on this. I'm looking at religion basically, but the reference point yet again, the reference story is the BBC's docu-series on T.B Joshua's time as pastor when he was alive. So I want to get your thoughts on all of this, all of the things we've talked about. When you I would also love to hear from Nigerians who are abroad who are listening by the app. When you talk religion in Nigeria, how best can you describe it, really? It's one thing for us to blame pastors and imams. They are human beings. They're not perfect, Sometimes we expect them to be perfect. But like he said, there is so much adulteration in religion these days that we don't know which is real and which is fake. And just like in government or in governance, the people have a major role, the congregation, as to how strong or how true. And 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp number for WhatsApp messages 0809 0306 Please do go straight to the point when I take your calls. Hello, your name, your location, your contribution.
Hello.
Yes, hi. Welcome.
This is Chukuma. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, Chukuma from Port Harcourt. Quickly, straight to the point now. What's in your mind?
Yeah, it's regarding a miracle. It's not that I don't believe in miracle, but miracle, the so-called miracle is happening now because to serious concern. I've discussed with a couple of friends about this miracle offense, and I asked them, have you seen anybody who has lost a limb, like amputation? They amputated the person's leg or hand, and person went to a prime minister and come back with the leg complete, like the leg. None of them have seen. I said, okay, have you seen anybody that maybe they remove the eye, through surgery, and
So what's your point, Chukuma? Chukuma, what's your point?
My point is that most of the miracles that are happening in Nigeria, I do not believe in them. Most of them, but there are some that they will be genuine, but most of them are not.
Okay.
That is my point.
All right. Then. Hello, your name, your location, your contribution.
Hi, hello.
Yeah, hi. Welcome.
Evening.
Yeah.
Miriam from Okrika.
Miriam from Okrika.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what the Bible says?
You tell
My
me.
people perish for lack of knowledge.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh my. Sorry about that. Miriam, call back if you can. Hello, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hello, Mr. Abatuo.
Yes, greetings to you. Welcome. What's your name?
My name is McDonald from Uniport.
McDonald, welcome. Quickly, let's get to what's on your mind.
Thank you. Your guest has I think has very own justice to the topic.
Okay.
And I agree with them in entirety. You see, my belief in religion is to the extent that it is you and me that created religion.
Okay.
That's not why I believe in religion. So all what people are saying, running about themselves, I don't believe in them because I know that they are all manipulations. So the documentary by the BBC really surprised me because I know right from the onset that it's all fake. You understand?
I'm listening to you.
What you create in your mind, what you create for yourself with as communication to the Almighty is what serves as religion as far as I'm concerned. So all people running about themselves, going here and there, they are just using them for money. And the test to know these people are aggressive use of the media. Those who perform miracle on the scale of television and on video.
All right.
You know that they are all fake.
All right.
I know that one, but in fact.
So McDonald, if I come on my show and I decide to do a miracle, I'm a fake man, right?
You don't have to advertise it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Before I hang up, Mr. Possible,
Yeah, quickly.
Because of development.
Yeah.
The 100,000 are paid to that.
We'll talk about this. We don't have time for that now, please. Oh, I missed that one. Hello, what's your name? What's your name? Yes, what's your name quickly, please?
This is Engineer Lumba.
Yeah,
I'm calling from Arsenal.
Lumba, welcome.
You see one thing about this thing that this young man is talking about.
Yeah.
It happened to me one day to go by fast. And they start getting John saying, as they say, all these people that see me go that are telling me they are telling me and dancing and clapping and I say, as they say, when you go in church, have you seen anybody you know that since you where they live, that this man the leg break, I didn't go crusade finish. In go leg on the good. Show me. I don't want to, I just want one. Do you know that people never that me go that they nearly kill. That people do not want to use to, don't want to listen to. They don't want to worship God into. They don't want to worship God in with clarity.
Okay.
See how people want to worship God. The reality is that they go honestly.
All right, thank you, Ilumba. Thank you. We have another commercial break. When we come back, I think, wow, I have a lot of messages here. I haven't even touched them. How do I do this now? Okay, when we come back, we'll find a way around. We'll read some of the messages and we get this final words on the show.
For more talk